demonic angel. Today's tarot is the Queen of Pentacles, as pertaining to the spread I'm doing right around this video. I realized I haven't profiled her yet, so now's the time. She is a very beautiful young queen, yet she's not over the top or concerned with the latest fashions. She just sits on this kind of a stone throne and is gazing into the pentacle before her. If you could see at the top, there's like a little angel, and then this is kind of like a goat, and it's just kind of connections to fertility. As you could see with the landscape, it's all these different colors. It almost reminds me of fall here with the, you know, the orange and the changing colors. And then we have the connection with the emotional, the streams running here. So there's really everything that a person could need. It's the energy of the changing of seasons and cycles, and the landscape is very lush and it provides, and it nurtures so much that we have, in fact, flowers. Now at the top they kind of look like roses, and roses have to do with a purity. In this case, it's kind of meaning a purity of purpose, of nurturing, and you know, that's even her little shoes are red. You could barely see her shoes, but they're red, and that's kind of this connection of, this is how grounded she is to the earth, is that affects her aura. So as opposed to whatever white shoes or something else that might stand out more, she's connected with the earth. She really is, this is almost like, in some ways, this could be a single mom who is, because we have the Pentacles Association, who is providing financially for her children, and they're the drive that keeps her going, and she needs to provide for her young. And this is accomplishing that. It's like, despite how lonely and just time consuming and all the other aspects of being a single mother, that she's pulling this off, and this is going very well for her. And her nature is very nurturing to everybody. So, you know, let's say her kids' friends, you know, they're always going to get a nice meal with this lady. They're going to feel very loved, protected around this kind of a woman, because it's, you know, she always has, especially children's interests at heart. And it's joy for the sake of joy. And she can really connect with children through, you know, that it's very simple for her to know that children love having this rich imagination life, and how to interact with children that way, by indulging in imaginative aspects, playful. Because obviously, as opposed to adults, where adults' first kind of, you know, instinct or mood is really not imagination, but children are, and a lot, you know, young mothers with children kind of understand that that imagination is the world that children live in, and it is very pure. and it's a beautiful thing, and it should be protected and allowed to live as long as it can, to be explored further. For you know, a person's childhood is very formative, no matter what kind of theories you want to believe. It's very important to, you know, what later you have to go through as an adult and do shadow work in the psyche. It's very important, a childhood. So, you know, there are lots of women out there who really embody this Queen of Pentacles. This can also be a woman who is married to or domestic partners with a gentleman who can financially provide for the family. And we say family because she's this mother to, and then there's like, I mean, there's little rabbits and there's some creatures that are around here. So everything wants to be mothered by this lady, and it's really, you know, that's how we know that she's this mother kind of a figure. And so her thing is that although they have a financially comfortable situation in life, that she, let's say, will build this kind of profile, she still may be somebody who cooks a lot, because nothing, you can't fake, replace, or take, you know, I mean, it's either there or it's not, and it's this comforts of home. You know, if we think about a grandmother figure who just, you could go into her house and it always smelled really good, and people were sitting around the table having coffee and sharing some of the best stories that you know, you'll ever remember in your life, and you think back with it on your cousins and such like that. Well, that's exactly this woman wants to create that. So a lot of times that's this woman who, she's still gonna make dinner. I mean, she's still gonna make cowboy stew even though they're rich, because nothing takes away from a good old-fashioned hearty meal made with a good woman's touch. And when I say woman, I do want to point out that part of the whole thing with the tarot is we're looking at exaggerated ideas of gender roles, and these are all played out within us as well. So it's not about being gay or straight or you know, what you identify with, but the idea is that you have this masculine or feminine aspect of yourself that is within you, and this can, you know, often represent this in the tarot. So it is exaggerated so you get the generalized idea, but men are also the Queen, you know, of Pentacles, because of course there's lots of men who are stay-at-home dads, and they really are the nurturing backbone of their family. And so this is not, you know, the set in stone gender-specific idea. It is exaggerated for us to examine through these cards and kind of look at it and understand that a big part of it's just in all of us. So, you know, this can be a stay-at-home dad would be a good way that I mentioned, that might even indicate like an intuitive gentleman who, let's say he's a really good cook. Well, he really got a lot of that domestic instinct from like his grandmothers. So we have that feminine influence that really shaped this aspect of this gentleman's identity, and it's really working out for him and his family. And so, you know, like, that's what I'm saying, is even though these people, the Queen of Pentacles, she could pay to have somebody make her dinner, but she's not going to do that. all the time, because nothing replaces being a wife, a mom, creating a home, and she does understand that. Another thing is that she's very much a good listener. So she's, you know, alone and gazing in the pentacle, but to me it does give that sense of that she's listening. Like, that's part of the wisdom of some of these really intelligent ladies in the tarot, like the Queen of Cups, where they're just so focused on this certain thing, and it's like they're good listeners. So that's that part of being a good storyteller, being a good partner, being a good parent, is listening. Just listening and observing, and you know, then you can quietly reflect on how can I nurture my family? What could I do different? How can my moods affect others? Or like, how can I get my kids to do something through nurturing their mood in a specific crafted way? And that takes listening and observing, and that's definitely part of the Queen of Pentacles. And she does have an appreciation for material things, because she's the Queen of Pentacles and she's looking right at it. So she likes this money, she likes comfort, she likes luxury, she likes travel. But she's not obsessed with this and any of this. And in fact, this is, you know, somebody who is part of the financial success. So even if we're looking at the Queen of Pentacles in the way that I kind of see it a little bit more often, where we're looking at a stay-at-home mom, then, you know, she's still a huge part of this financial success because of all these things that we just talked about. And those things come together, they make life easier, they make the family home be a home, and that really helps everybody else kind of deal with their issues. And that's, she's there to nurture everybody. And this is still a young woman as well, who is fertile. Because of the landscape being so lush, and this woman, she has this quiet beauty about her. She's young, she's of childbearing age still, and the earth is aligned with her, because, you know, it's not a barren landscape, it's fertile just like her. So that's kind of this reminder too, that fertility is not always the straightforward reproduction, but more importantly, fertility is the recessive feminine qualities of being open. And that openness allows for creativity and compassion, and that's what fertility really is this nurturing of others, helping people to heal. That is another aspect of the Queen of Pentacles. That mother, heal all, that kind of drive, this instinct that's connected to fertility. Not just how can I reproduce. We're animals, we can reproduce. That's a very straightforward thing. It's a different story to be a parent, but fertility is this everyday concept of, you know, you dream about making an art project come true, and you make it happen. That's the fertility. That's that creative spark in your mind that starts in your mind, and you materialize it. So that is that feminine energy every time that that's played in this, you know, off in the universe. You know, reversed, we have a kind of situation where it's really hard for this person to balance like a work and a home life situation. And even though, okay, the tarot can be very hard, it's not like oracles where it, you know, gives it to you slowly with butter and sugar and cream. Tarot is like, it's not afraid to give you bad news. Well, but another thing to remember is we are all of these cards at some point. So that's kind of a good way to not get so hung up on it, is to understand that. But that reversal comes in when it's like, let's say a woman is working full time, but I mean, gosh, the stresses of getting older, maybe arguments, maybe failing health of parents, sibling problems, marriage issues. Now, you know, just life, she's exhausted, and so when she's at home, she's too tired to make meals for the kids, to sit down at the table and engage in a daily conversation about how is your life and what is new. This is just this disconnect of that. Another way it could manifest is that looking at, you know, depends on looking at the other cards, but it can indicate like a gold digger situation where, you know, like it's like this woman appears to be this maybe a nurturing person with really good intentions of maybe, you know, let's say she wants to be with an older guy to provide a better life for her and her kid, but it's not just that, it's about the greed and that insatiable, because something like pure greed for those kinds of, structured in this way, is insatiable, and it's that's the whole purpose of it, is just greed itself. So, you know, that can be another kind of scenario I have seen with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Another one can just be that a more of a straightforward kind of an idea where a person is just spending too much money. Like, let's say the housewife is just kind of cramped in the house, and, you know, a little bit, you know, the reclusiveness is just kind of having negative effects. So the online shopping gets a little out of control. Amazon, hey, what can we all say, right? But I actually am not an overspender, so, but I mean, I could probably, I mean, like, I would love to just spend some good money on occult stuff. I do once in a while, but you know, yeah, so you get that idea of just overspending, and that's just her imbalance, okay? That idea that in some area of this life, there's not a balance, there's not a connection that's not grounded, so it's not working for this person. So they're gonna have to at some point take a step back and do a little bit of an assessment and kind of decide, how can I make this balance work? Is it time for me to go back to work? Or is it time, hey, come out and be honest to say, I think I need to work part-time because I need to spend more time home with my kids and talk to your partner kind of situation. And then we could see that balance restored, because then a person has more time to deal with, as I was mentioning with the example of the woman before, who has like aging parents and health problems or whatever, now would have a little bit more time to deal with those things properly, and that could be really good for people. And then we get, then we go from here, and we could turn this frown upside down, right? And balance is restored. And that's, if there is an imbalance, that's my job as a tarot reader and witch here, is to understand and try to figure out a way that we can bring a balance to the situation. So, and since I was just talking about the Queen of Pentacles, I thought we'd profile her. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.